All right. Well, I'm glad everybody had a great New Year.
Oh yeah, we're doing fantastic over here.
Hey, John, are there any schools you'd like to shoot at?
My number one resolution for this year is advocate for less school shootings.
That's a good one. That's a good one. And we need to dig into that. Not at all.
That was like when you're in freshman philosophy and some kid tries to own the professor by being like, well, if the fire spirit is the earth spirit and the earth spirit is the Apeiron is everywhere, does that mean when I eat a brownie, it's actually my own shit? And the professor has to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are you trying to own me by eating shit?
What the fuck classes are you taking that involve fire and earth spirits? Like, what the hell is going on?
Florida
I know.
State.
I was going to
Pre-Ionian Greek philosophy. That's the one that existed at Florida State, because just like if you're running a mafia, you have to have one legitimate looking front. And they went with a class on Ionians, knowing no one else in the state could check them on what was being taught.
Was this one of the student athlete courses? Like, what is this?
It wasn't supposed to be, but on week 2, he tried putting up a truth table. Is that what it's called?
What?
A truth table, a logic table. This is a real philosophy thing. And the class revolted so hard, he just went, fuck it. Everyone, I'm raising everyone's getting an extra 35 points on their test. Let's just move on to the next chapter. We never went back to it. That's like a foundational thing if you need to do work in like philosophy academia, but he knew nobody in that room ever would.
Oh, that's a real quality Florida education right there.
I can't tell if you're fucking with me or not.
Oh, no, he's not.
That's 100% real.
That's definitely an accurate thing to happen.
Jesus Christ, Florida.
There's just one kid that he kept, no matter what the thing would be like, okay, if every atom contains elements of everything, does that mean that my tongue has elements of shit on it right now? It's like, stop doing this. It got to a point where the first time it was like, oh, he's got a wacky sense of humor. The fourth time is like, is someone going to call the police?
Like, so how everyone has like one speck of ash of Hitler in them or something?
Bro, maybe you do.
No. It was no. I think it was probably a stand-up comedian bit or something about that.
All right, you guys want to rock?
Oh God, I mean, we're just hitting it out of the ballpark so far. So I guess let's do this.
Before we go on, I want to get this out of the way so no one has to talk about it. The Cortez dancing video.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit, right?
Yeah. I didn't see it. I mean, I don't know, like, whatever.
They just posted a video where she looks like she's a cool kid who dances and has friends with people.
Damn.
Yeah, no. It's just like, look at this young woman enjoying her life with her friends. It's like, okay.
It's like the Beto O'Rourke thing where it was, hey, you really want this punk guy who probably fucks a lot to be your representative? Yeah, probably. Yeah, a lot of people.
Except she looks even more normal. Hers is like totally normy. Oh, she's dancing and having fun with her friends. No weird hairstyles, no strangeness whatsoever. Just all very normal shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and say, like, at age 15, I was dancing the Macarena a whole lot of times.
Hell yeah, go off, kid.
For high school girl-related reasons, but...
You danced the Macarena for high school...
You were at a lot of dances. They played the Macarena fucking constantly.
Oh, and that was like the alpha move there, is to do the Macarena.
Well, yes, because they're all doing it, and you want to be dancing with them, and you make some sacrifices in your life. That is not a very big one in the grand scheme of things.
No, you're right. No, actually, you are right. It made sense then. Doing the Macarena to attract high school girls, and I'm just glad that like that embarrassing thing's behind you, and now you're doing the floss dance to attract teenagers.
Wow. Well, first of all, wait a minute. First of all, that wouldn't be teenage girls. It'd be like preteen girls at the oldest.
Are you about to explain the pedophilia to me right now?
Christ.
John's in good form.
Oh.
He's having a good New Year.
Yeah, okay, so that was a great chunk on AOC.
But but is the video anything? Is like I saw a bunch of stills of it at work, and I just saw people yelling about it, and I was like,
honestly,
this just seems like whatever.
It's a giant nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, the most interesting thing about it is that the Democrats felt compelled to release a counter. Like they're so lame that they're like, we need to counter this. And so they put out a story that was, well, she might have danced, but she also won her 10th grade science fair. They got photos of her just like at age 14 standing next to like a mini particle accelerator, and then put that out to counter the narrative. Someone got paid $10 million to come up with that strategy. Our week then?
Yes. That's why I'm telling you hold the thought, John.
Yep. No, that's fair. I should have guessed.
Oh, no worries. Okay,
that's great. We'll just cut it off with, I don't know, whatever the last thing was.
Yeah.
Okay, so up, Soviet Union. Here we go. Soviet Union. That's
I'm just gonna play that instead of the anthem now.
That's the bebop Protestant guy, but for leftist communism. Scoop it up, pop Marxism, Leninism, Trotsky, pop chawoo.
I'm gonna need more of that.
So call back to an episode that no one here listened to.
That's our new outro music.
I'm playing that in place of the intro theme this week.
So that happened, and now let's get to the week that was and lead us.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Dumb and Awful. We've been on a short holiday break and have reconfigured our production schedule to make sure that we deliver you this beautiful, beautiful baby podcast every Monday morning, is what we're trying to promise you in 2019. And I'm sure that we will get at least 2 weeks in before we break that promise. I am Brett.
About your production schedule.
Fuck you, Rob.
Yeah, fuck your production schedule. This is not happening.
Nobody's like, what? It's Thursday in the mornings when I wanted it. Now he's talking about Monday.
I actually think there are people who do that.
You even tried to do an introduction, and we just ignored you. That is not happening.
Not great.
All right. And Soviet Union thing ends. Trotsky. Eastern Germany, vaguely anti-Semitic.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to Dumb and Awful 2019. We finally made it. Maybe this will be the year we finally get a revolution. I am Brett.
This is John, and I'm being extra dumb this year.
And this is Rob, having noticed, like all of the watchers, that this was not the week when John has the greatest riff performance of all time. I'll see you next week, guys, as we wait and we watch.
All right, well, since it is a new year, we're going to talk about our goals for the year and the things we're most looking forward to. And then we're going to play a little end of the year quiz show, just to really get us started in the best possible way, and because it's just easier for me.
Yeah, I'm psyched about this because it means I did no prep whatsoever. Read, not this week, motherfuckers. I kicked back, had a couple brewskis, and now it's all about me saying dumb shit about the dumb shit in our government. Here we go.
I'll say sad you didn't have to read any like long articles about like random Chinese authors being imprisoned this week.
I don't know anything about Barry Weiss's weekend, and that's fine for once.
Oh yeah. Let us stay as far away from the New York Times opinions page this year.
So why don't we start with you, John? What are your personal and political goals for the year?
To not read a single op-ed. That's like number one. Like if I can get through this year not doing that, that would be fantastic.
Dude, if you can get through the month, I'm going to be impressed.
Well, yeah, but you're going to make me, and I'm going to hate it, and I'm going to cry. But let's see. Like, I mean, personally, I don't have many goals for this year. Like, it's just all real simple. Just keep going forward, survive the Democratic primary. That's the goal for the year. It's like I'm gonna just fucking hate myself if I'm not a Trotskyist by the end of this year. If I'm not like hoping for these like the Soviet invasion, then I'm gonna consider that a win.
There's no way that when the primary starts, you're not going to get hit by some op-ed. One of them is going to be so dumb, and even with you preparing yourself for how dumb it's going to be, fucking David Brooks is going to write like Duterte, the original thought, and you're going to read it.
I mean, I think the worst part is like any op-ed is going to come out and then someone else is going to write an op-ed about how that's like Russian propaganda. Like, I'm sure the words Russian propaganda are going to be said more than any other words this year.
Well, Trump, but yeah, that's a fair point. So your goals are mostly, well, the admirable one, I do think it's important every year to have a goal that's wildly unrealistic, just to have something to really stretch for.
For
And
some
yours
of us,
is the
it's
op-ed.
having sex. For others, it's the Democratic primary. Who can say what is more out of reach?
I do appreciate, John, that your out of reach one is avoiding op-eds rather than not watching anime. That's good of you to know what weaknesses are.
Oh, actually, I made a resolution.
The bells
After-
of Notre Dame.
The bells of Notre Dame.
I like the idea of you just running and someone at the next treadmill looking over and just seeing Death Note. Like you're sort of nodding solemnly, but also really out of breath.
No, I was doing that I was in the gym at work for a while I was watching like Kill La Kill. That was kind of a mistake. Like I'm sure someone looked over at one point and that shows like just so much near softcore nudity that
Oh boy,
I don't know, it wasn't great.
That's awkward. Quick, put over. Let's pick something safe like this Bible black thing.
You know, this podcast makes it seem like I watch like an incredible amount of anime.
Is
I
it this
really don't.
podcast's
It's just
fault?
a normal.
Point fingers
No,
already.
it's the fact that it's my personal Florida.
Anime, My Personal Florida, written by John, illustrated by John.
What are you most and least looking forward to this year, John?
What I'm most looking forward to this year is the centrist Democrats eating a ton of shit. Like, I think it's going to happen. Biden's going to go. Beto O'Rourke is also eating a bunch of shit. Now, if we can, if the AOC can keep this going, if we can find a bunch of other young socialists to run and start picking up momentum through the year and just pushing out a bunch of old dog Democrats, that is what I'm looking forward to the most. What I'm dreading the most is the actual Democratic primary. It's going to be a fucking nightmare. There's like an 80% chance some hell world person's going to get in. Everyone's going to everyone in the media is going to pretend they're really progressive. They're going to get elected, and then everyone from fucking Goldman Sachs is just going to join their administration, and then we're going to elect a fascist in 4 years. That's what I'm dreading.
Well, yeah, it's
I mean, what did you expect when you asked that question? Yeah, this is mostly on you. Like, he was going to be like, I don't know, Evangelion's coming out. Actually, ignore that because that's coming back later.
Oh, I thought he'd just stop with the primary. I didn't think he would play out the next 5 years for me.
I mean, that's just what plays in my head constantly. It's like, oh, okay, like we elect Beto O'Rourke or something. Well, what exactly is going to happen? It's like, well, we know exactly what's going to happen. When Obama got fucking elected, he gave a
us
good
all
speech.
sore thighs. Yeah.
Sore calves, Rob.
Oh,
Come
my
on.
cramped calves.
Bro, maybe your calves. That's right. My calves took Obama just fine.
Got that deep quad burn.
Uh,
All right. Well, thank you, John. What about you, Rob? What are your personal and or political goals for the year?
Personal goals. And this is something me and my family have spent a lot of time talking about and then never really doing. And, we're all getting a little bit older. It just sort of felt like if it's not going to happen now, then it's never going to happen. And so me and a couple other people have committed to Slav squatting only on organic surfaces in 2019. I don't know
That's
if you're
good of you.
Are you familiar with the Slav squat?
You should explain it for our listeners who don't know.
All right. So like sit down like you're a catcher, you know,
Okay.
like butt in the air, both feet facing forward. Now somehow turn those feet 90 degrees outward and then raise yourself up about halfway to what's comfortable. And when you feel like out of sorts and weird and just constant pain, you've experienced the Slav squat. That is our natural, most comfortable position.
Are you supposed to wear any sort of garments while you're doing this?
I'm literally wearing Adidas track pants right now. That's not a lie. That's a verifiable fact.
Is something on fire in the background?
This apart again, unironically, it smells like smoke, but that's because someone tried to do the popcorn that isn't in the microwave, and for you fucked up. But yeah, 2019, you know, it's about connecting. The Slav squat it's an old ethnic tradition. It's meant to connect the Slav to the earth, you know, to the mud from which he was spawned. And if I'm honest, the last year had a lot of Slav squatting in subway stations, sidewalks, the weird strip of asphalt at a gas station between the main gas station and where you take the key to the men's room, that little outhouse. If I'm being honest, there's a lot of squatting in that particular zone. But from now on, parks, beaches, abandoned quarries, you know, the sorts of places that my ancestors intended. Shout out to the Indo-Eurasians. You done good. Oh, and politically, I guess Evangelion comes out in April.
Is that what you're also most looking forward to?
So you're going to be just called walking Russian propaganda, you realize. Like someone's just going to walk by, see you in your squatting tracksuit and just look at you and just like, RT.
How is that different than now?
Well, look, a broken clock is right twice a day.
That's true. When do we get our Putin checks? Like, is this a thing we have to do in particular, or like how's this work? You're handling it, Rob, right?
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm a little tentative because the last time someone in my family was told to show up to get a Putin check, it was the cat and forest, and there were almost no checks there. Big time ripoff.
I mean, I'll just take one of those giant chocolate sculptures of one of the places where someone just mysteriously got polonium poisoning. Like you saw that Russia Today sent the giant chocolate sculpture of a cathedral where two Russians like spies were mysteriously poisoned earlier last year.
That's a sort of cool Lech, Czech, and Rus fun that we like to have out in Eastern Europe. You know.
No, this was in the UK.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it was.
Maybe that's why it involved a chocolate cathedral, whereas the actual Polish-Russian pranks are like inviting the president to a memorial for Cat and Forest, and then his plane crashes and kills his whole family.
Oh, Jesus.
Because that actually happened. Got us.
Oh, those old Russian pranksters. So my turn. My personal and political goals for 2019. Personal, get better at the decorating aspect of baking without sacrificing any flavor. Been watching a little too much Great British Bake Off, if such a thing is possible. And between that and the Christine McConnell show that came out on Netflix around Halloween, I really want to up my game as far as making stuff look incredible, but I refuse to use gum paste or fondant because it tastes like ass. So it's pretty high on the list.
Okay, I gotta ask, how do you feel about inedible accoutrements, whatever, on cakes?
Largely they're bullshit. If everything doesn't taste good, what is even the point?
Thank you.
Aesthetics. The answer would be aesthetics. There's lots of things that are beautiful that don't taste good, like human beings or buildings.
But they're also not something that you cook or bake. You're literally prepping food and then making it inedible, which is fucking ridiculous. That's the problem I have with it. But I will say, things that are purely decorative that aren't even like nominally edible, I have less of a problem with. It's the stuff that's in between, like fondant, where you can eat it, but why would you? It tastes terrible. That's the stuff that actually really irritates me. So if someone puts like a flower next to their cake or on the cake, like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Like, that's not my favorite thing, but if it looks nice, it looks nice. That at least, like, I know I'm not eating that thing, right? The stuff where you're like, oh, you can eat it. And it's like, yeah, but Why would I?
So it's like the garnish with the steak.
If it doesn't add to the flavor, I personally don't really get the point. Or if at least doesn't detract from the flavor, because that's the other thing.
You heard it here, folks. If you like plating, fuck you from Brett.
No, I disagree. I'm going one level higher than that. If you're gonna plate something that looks good and still tastes incredible, don't sacrifice flavor.
You heard
Goal
it, folks. When you're plating, go one level higher or fuck you from Brett.
Let's see. I want to do that. I want to find a new job that's not complicit in capitalism. That's my stretch goal for the year.
Yeah, and the one that you were thinking about was
I was kicking around the idea of trying to become a real estate agent or a realtor.
Yep, the least complicit in capital jobs.
Yeah.
We found it.
Oh man,
It's a twist ending.
So you're going to be the person that just tells everyone, just goes up and says to everyone, "Oh, I don't think this neighborhood is right for you," depending on like your skin color. If you're like aiming for like the mysteriously cheaper neighborhood in a location that just happens to have, for some mysterious reason, like 80% of the minorities in the city live there.
So here's where I want to separate a thing.
No,
I don't
Brett,
think
every client you have will be the type of people who, by the fact that they're talking to you, can purchase a home. That's not exactly between that and the alternative. That doesn't feel like the most revolutionary, radicalizing potential group for you to be interacting with for the cause of anything on the left.
Fair point, but there are regular people who buy small homes that aren't wealthy, especially if I'm not living in the Northeast or the West Coast, right? If I'm not in those two regions, houses are a little more in the range of normal ass people affordable, right?
I have no idea. I'm taking this on faith.
Yeah, yes, I know. Miami and New York are your two. Imagine if you lived well outside of New Orleans, how cheap those houses are, relatively speaking.
Oh, I assume they just gave those to you if you did enough racism. And that's what socialism is all about. Bernie 2020.
No, I don't know that real estate is structurally complicit, right? I mean, you can get in the argument of like private ownership of land is inherently
Yeah, that's a pretty big argument
evil.
you could get into.
Yeah, no, I know, and that's fine. I'm not disagreeing with that necessarily.
That's too smart of a thing. We're aiming for dumber.
But what you guys are mostly talking about is the people who interact in that job and who your clientele are. Which, like, that could be anything. You could do business clientele and mostly work with like small restaurants, and I don't think that's inherently evil or complicit, right? If you're just helping small restaurants find little shops to open up in or storefronts, like, I don't see anything like particularly great about that, but also
Don't
nothing
use foot
particularly
indoor
evil.
rhetoric on me, sir. I've also read Cialdini.
My only knowledge of how to run a small restaurant comes from watching episodes of Kitchen Nightmares, so don't have the greatest opinion on
The
this.
secret ingredient's abuse.
Usually, yes. The other bit of it is, one, I think it's useful information to know. Every job I've had so far has been complicit. Just so we're clear, I am like deep into the capitalist system with everything I've done. This would be the first time I'm finally getting the fuck away from it. So let's put that out there for context. I'm not great at this. I do think it's useful information to know. It's good to know how the system works. I have found that really valuable on the business side. Understanding how the current capitalist system works makes the criticisms a little more effective and easier to find.
So you can finally win the discourse.
No. It's not for other people. I like knowing things.
So you're saying
for
it's
me to
inherently
understand.
selfish for you to be a real estate agent. Do you see, like, when you come into the Logic Dojo, you either come at 100% or don't enter. It's disrespectful to me.
That's fair. And my last point here is that even if you consider the job inherently complicit, it is one of the few jobs regular people can do without a college degree, have an okay living, and millions of people have it. Are all of them automatically complicit and evil?
Are you taking a job with your advanced degrees from one of the very
Yeah, I was going to
few
say, aren't you
sectors?
just taking one of those jobs from those people?
Cool. Just imagine Morpheus from that movie. That's me right now, but with logic.
All right, so real estate's out. I'll tune in next week as I come up with a new plan.
I just put on the
you
sickest pair of Oakleys.
I mean, if you want like the most horrifying conversation I had over the holidays, my mother was talking to me about what a great investment drug treatment centers are right now. Because
that's one that I've heard a lot, and also trailer parks and storage units as you prep for the next recession, the rich, so that way you can squeeze people with nothing. Hell yeah, capitalism, baby.
Oh man, That, do you know what that means though? We are going to have some awesome episodes of those shows.
Storage Wars.
Storage Wars. We are going to get some great new seasons.
Oh, another body.
So, like I said, find a new job that's not complicit. Politically organize more with the DSA, and then most looking forward to finally escaping from DC, moving to Denver in a few weeks.
A noble goal.
That one's fucking happening.
I spent a week in DC, and man.
And then I have one that's both the most, and it's the thing I'm both most and least looking forward to at the same time, and that is seeing every single 2020 candidate do an Instagram live video where they cook.
Hell yeah.
Least looking forward to it because they're all going to be terrible, but most looking forward to it because...
Well, wait, does that mean they all haven't already? I thought like...
No, not yet. Listen,
oh,
there's like 30 of them running. We've only got like 4 or 5 so far, right? Now we have Elizabeth Warren to go with Beto. AOC isn't running, but she's obviously been doing it for a bit. We've had Gillibrand just post pictures of her cooking. And same with Kamala Harris. They'll do the instas. Those are happening.
Of course.
Those are on the way. I kind of love it though, because if all of politics is going to be a bullshit, dumb dog and pony show, it's so nice that they're finally playing in a medium that I understand and know a lot about. Like, great. Yeah, no, this works. You guys should do a baking challenge instead of a fucking debate. Awesome. Let's just lean into this, guys.
I like the fact too that, I mean, traditionally politicians can't even pretend to be human for 5 seconds at a time. That's how you get like Pokemon Go to the polls. And I love to Dougie Hillary Clinton 2015. But this is just more airtime. So it's more opportunity for them to expose who they really are. And that can only be good for voters. That's an unironic, I think that's a good thing.
Agreed.
Because just like we talked about with the with my like pre-K teacher that had to riff for an hour-long prayer to punish me in back in Florida, seeing politicians have to riff for an hour and a half while making pork chops it's going to be delightful.
It's already been great. Yeah, we already found out that Beto has a snake, automatically disqualified, and that Elizabeth Warren doesn't fuck around with booze, which I appreciate. People gave her a lot of shit for that, but I was like, God, I don't have a problem with this.
There's a lot of straight edge like types in Massachusetts.
Yeah, when you say doesn't fuck with booze, you mean like being sober?
No. I mean like she just went straight for the bottle of wine, sans glass.
No, she got a Michelob Ultra, I thought.
Oh, I know. She did another one where she had wine too.
Oh, she's like, well, people are really responding to this Michelob Ultra. Maybe I'll even pour myself a Pinot Grigio. I don't know. What do you think?
Also, we know that is authentic. No fucking consultant in the universe said like, you should drink a Michelob Ultra. That'll make you seem approachable. We're
actually trying to micro-target to Michelob Ultra moms who used to vote for Romney but now masturbate to Beto. This is going to work great.
She did hire one of Hillary Clinton's people, so that genius plan might have come from them.
We're polling great among people that give 23andMe as a gift to people who never requested it.
Oh my God.
All right, y'all, you ready for our 2018 year in review quiz show?
Hell yes, I am going to Wolf Blitzer this shit.
I think once you see my answers, you will know the answer to that question, sir. That'll be the only question, ironically, I am able to answer successfully. Makes you think.
Great. Glad I prepped these questions for you guys.
Is there an anime category? If so.
No, our first game is when was it? So I am going to give you an
2018.
Event, and you were going to tell me if it was in 2018, 2017, or in the before times.
Oh God, 2018 was a decade long. I don't remember anything from 2017 at this point. So yeah, let's hit me.
So First question. This one's for you, John. So this year, John McCain died of brain cancer.
Woo!
When was he diagnosed?
Gosh. He was diagnosed like a while ago, right? He's been like a walking corpse for years. So I'm gonna say I'll say 2017. I think it was before that, but like I said, feels like a decade ago.
Can I weigh in here because I know the answer?
You absolutely can.
Through
Steal
the
it.
power of logic and grammar, I notice your sentence structure indicates that you want to know when he was diagnosed of being dead this year. Well, this year was 2018. I'll collect those points. Owned yet again.
All right, 1 point to John. He was diagnosed with brain cancer in 2017.
Woo!
This is an outrage. This is your problem. It was your mistake.
Sir, this is not Jeopardy.
All right, that's plus 1 point in 2017's favor.
The listeners will reward
taking
me
the tally
for
up to minus 196.
This is like one of those tests you get in elementary school where the teacher gives you a test and says, read the instructions carefully. And it says at the top, on each one, mark A, B, C, or D, but actually don't mark anything and turn it in 10 minutes from now for an automatic A. And then, some kids do the test because they didn't read the directions, and others go, and in 10 minutes they turn it in. And then the teacher gives them a 0 because they paid too much attention, the fucking nerds. That's you for not giving me the point right now.
Aren't you the one who's paying too much attention in this circumstance?
Yeah, and I'm being penalized. I'm saying you're the weird teacher that's flunking people for following directions. I'm not going to listen to a single word of this next question.
You have to
continue. Good luck getting through to me.
don't-
This is
don't
Gangsta's Paradise
lawyer-
right now. And I don't even want to be
lawyer
cool.
ball this.
Rob gets a sympathy point for his exhausting argument.
Hey, full scholarship to Florida State University.
All right, Rob. Here's your backup question because you refused to play. When did a rogue Twitter contract suspend Trump's account during his last day at work?
Oh, okay. I got this. Here we go. His last day at work would be
What year was it?
So if the inauguration, okay, calculating. That is
His
One.
being the Twitter contractor.
So did Rob buy a silent keyboard so that he could type all this into Google?
if you
No.
think it's amazing, and I'm actually honored
You just
that
buy
your
in
read on me
time.
is that I'm cheating at trivia, as opposed to just going like, fuck, I don't give a shit if everyone knows I don't know. 2017.
You are correct.
Yeah, I was going to say that sounds like a thing that happened last year. 2 years ago. Shit.
You
Fuck.
remember before 2018?
First try, no warm up.
Hell yeah. All right, John, this one's for you.
All right, hit me.
This is a quote from our good pal and longtime show friend, Senator Chuck Schumer.
Absolute pimp.
After passing the stimulus, Democrats should have continued to propose middle-class oriented programs and built on the partial success of the stimulus. But unfortunately, Democrats blew the opportunity the American people gave them. We took their mandate and put all of our focus on the wrong problem, healthcare reform. And this was when he was discussing an upcoming election.
Oh god, I'm gonna say oh fuck. Is this before or after he was talking to fictional people in his head? I'll say this was right before the 2018 election because this sounds like the shit what he was saying when he was like talking to like that fictional Mormon family in his skull.
Unfortunately, no, this was the before times.
Oh damn.
This was before 2016.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, that makes sense, but geez,
Yeah, he's been bad
didn't
forever.
think he had. Yeah,
And
I mean, that actually
correctly
shows, like-
captures the point.
yeah. Like that's an evergreen Chuck Schumer quote. It was like so boring, I forgot half of what you said by the time you finished it. It was just immediately fell out of my ears.
Tactically, we
sucks.
made a mistake by focusing on keeping people alive. It's a weird take, Chuck.
It is. And that's why we're going to win in 2016. Maybe not.
We're no longer focused on keeping people alive.
Oh shit, this guy's running even further to the right on murdering everybody. Fuck. Didn't work out, Chuck. All right, Rob, this one's for you. Rand Paul get his ass beat by his neighbor and have 6 ribs broken.
The before times, because it made me have hope for a better world.
Incorrect, 2017.
I was going to say, let us hope it's all three. Let it be every year Rand Paul gets his ass beat.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because the year sucked, but that was a sweet balm, knowing that,
That
a
was,
sovereign
that was a
citizen
beautiful moment.
engaged in discourse with him.
So I'm going to say 2017, way better year than 2018, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how downward slopes work, though.
Every year's progressively worse, John. Yeah, that was a beautiful moment in history. Especially because he and his team tried to spin it as the reason he got his ass beat by this also diminutive doctor who lived next door. They're both like 5'4", 5'5". They try to spin it as he beat him up because he's an evil leftist. And it was like, no, actually, you're both weird fucking psychopaths about your yard. I'm like,
listen, if you start putting your brush on my lawn, we are going to have problems.
Oh, no, it was even better than that. Rand Paul drove his lawnmower in a way that caused all of the debris to fly onto the other guy's yard.
I thought it was like
just fuck. Come on. It's so crazy those guys can't fuck culturally.
I mean,
just let them fuck.
To be fair, that is like the middle, that is like the suburban equivalent of like walking up to someone and just slapping him in the face with a glove.
No, this is so much more intimate. Like, it's like, I don't care if you see that I'm doing this. You need to know. This is where I think it belongs. You'll find this later and think of me on this mower.
We have one more wonderful event to close out this segment. This little mini game for when was it? Right. This one is going to John. John, so Bannon was with the White House and then he left, went back to Breitbart, and then he left Breitbart. But when did he leave Breitbart?
I mean, he left in 2017. He did not last that long, and then he went to Breitbart. But he like left Breitbart like almost immediately because Breitbart like lost its funding or something. Like there was some fucking things where I know like this year was when Steve Bannon was getting like 7 people to show up for his talks, but all of them were New York Times writers. So I'm gonna say 2017.
Oh, you're incorrect. This is also kind of a trick question because it was January 9th of 2018. So we're almost at the 1-year anniversary.
Damn it. That's fine. So wait, so that means that happened right as the first shitty tell-all book from someone in the Trump White House came out? The Fire and Fury one?
Yep.
Not to be mistaken with the Omarosa one?
Correct. It was almost immediately before that. All right, so at the end of our first game, of which we only have 3 because we don't have all the time in the world, Rob is leading by 1, but we're close. So our next game is called...
All I do is win. You know how the song goes. Just play it out and go to YouTube.com.
Gonna have to lawyer ball my way back into this one.
All right. Ready for the next one?
No. Absolutely not.
This one's very simple.
I'm having a day.
I'm going to read a story, and you're going to tell me if it happened in Florida or not Florida.
I'm going to crush this.
Yep. It's up your alley, buddy. All right, first one's to you, Rob. A former cook at a hibachi restaurant.
Florida, next one. It's in Broward County.
It was not in Broward County, but it was in Florida. A cook at a hibachi restaurant.
That's all I know. We get it. A cook at a hibachi restaurant. Only in Florida, am I right?
Hold on, let me at least get to this bit. He went to prison for poisoning the Hibachi Express's yum yum sauce. and he was caught on surveillance camera and immediately confessed. Florida's fuck. All right, John, this one's for you.
I knew that. God,
I knew. I'm just gonna presume it's from The Onion. So hit me with it.
Wait, I want to just point out. I knew that was Florida instantly because the person working at a hibachi is only a detail that gets included in a Florida story. Yep. Like it was like bank robbers in Somerville, Massachusetts. Like somewhere in there, maybe they'd be like, was struggling as a hibachi person. But if it's a Florida guy like masturbating on the highway, it's like hibachi cook goes hibachi wild.
After reading a bunch of Florida stories for this, yes, that is entirely true. All right, John, this one's for you. Man charged with killing his girlfriend over an argument because she was reading a book about voodoo to his son.
I'm going to say not Florida.
This one was Florida.
Wow. Damn. Oh, this is going to be one of those tricks where they're all Florida.
Maybe.
Stop trying to break the metagame, you fucking nerd.
You can't min-max this.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I feel slightly bad because the reason why Florida is known for all the crazy shit is just because they have a law that makes them publish all their police blotter stuff. So all these stories actually get out there. When plenty of where if you told me that one, I was immediately thinking, well, of course, it's like Louisiana had happened there.
Yeah, it's called the Sunshine Law.
Yeah, that's the good law Florida passed.
Yeah, no, that law's freaking great.
And not because it was progressive, just because people want to hear about the dumb shit their neighbor's doing. Because like the most Florida thing you can do is be pretty sure that your neighbor, as opposed to you, is a total dipshit. And this helps to reinforce those beliefs, which actually leads to some horribly violent antisocial behavior. But anyway, back to the guy wanking on the highway.
All right, Rob, this one's for you. Grandparents asked their grandson to clean his room. And as a result, he went and got a gun and shot his grandma in the head and then killed himself. Florida, not Florida.
You know what? This is tough. But
yeah, this could be literally anywhere.
I'm going to say it's not Florida.
You are accurate. This is in Arizona.
Here's why I think that's the case. If you are an old person and you go to Florida, you're trying to escape your family and go somewhere where you can post
Yes.
Pepe memes as part of a community that has a wall up for no reason. It's realizing a Trumpian fantasy and having your dumb kids around there like, I don't know, I think gay people are pretty cool. That's insufferable to you. And so I don't believe that that sort of family would exist in Florida, where there's a multi-generational household of people that basically care enough about each other to kill each other.
Correct. Not Florida. All right, John. So at a Goodwill, an odd item was found in the donation pile. A grenade launcher complete with a live grenade. Florida, not Florida.
I'll say Florida, just because I want it to be true.
Correct. And this was actually in Tampa, my hometown, baby.
Hell yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. Because that needed to be some military base place. Because you don't just...
nearby.
Florida people are usually the type that talk about like owning a grenade or like a Mauser from World War II. And you go like, okay, let's go look at it right now. And they're like, oh, actually, my cousin borrowed it. This is someone that actually has it. And so it's got to be like that Navy base there.
Had it and donated it because that's how little they cared about it.
Yeah, I got plenty of these at home. Y'all can have one of these.
Give it to the needy. All right, Rob, this last one's for you. There was a high school as part of their prom decorations.
Florida. That's not my real answer.
The theme for this high school,
This is going to be like Alabama or some shit.
was Welcome to the Jungle. And so as part of their decorations, they used a live tiger, lemur, 2 parrots, and a fox. And while the school claimed the tiger was never harmed or endangered and was consistently accompanied by handlers, the backlash forced the school to issue a statement apologizing.
Here's what's so problematic about this, and I understand why it's really the $2,000 Jeopardy question here, is that owning a lemur is extremely Florida. I don't mind saying, because it doesn't affect me, you literally dated someone who owned multiple lemurs and monkeys.
Parents. Who's
Apes.
parents?
Apes, actually. They had real full ape, like chimpanzees or something, right?
Spider monkeys. Yep.
Yeah, so that's extremely Florida. On the other hand, having a tiger is Texas as fuck.
It is.
That's the issue. So
I'm just slightly confused about welcome to the jungle and you have a fox?
Listen,
I guess I shouldn't be confused that they're not totally down on their topological regions, but
yeah, you know what?
Okay, cool, sure.
John's convinced me. I believe that Florida people at least think themselves, or it's important to their self-realization that they be seen and perceived as someone that knows stuff about jungle fauna. So I'm going to assume it's non-Florida.
Ooh, this was actually Miami.
Fuck.
Gotcha.
I was trying to think of where that sort of opulence would be, but I didn't think Miami would.
Someone in Miami definitely owns a fox.
I was just thinking this could be like Houston but no, this is, yeah.
Oh, I know. That's why I liked it.
That's a tough one. Where did they have the tiger stored in Miami?
Oh, it's so
It's
many
gotta
questions.
be some drug dealer's house.
I had so many questions that this article did not answer. Literally all it gave me was the like, this is what happened. PETA's angry. Like, who gives a fuck about PETA? Where did this tiger come from? Who just has a tiger in Miami?
Where would you keep them? I don't understand.
You think the neighbors would notice?
It's a tough one.
Well, actually, didn't that happen in New York? There's that famous picture of like a firefighter going up to a window and trying to like puzzle out how to get the tiger that was in someone's apartment out.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I remember that story. At the end of 2 rounds,
Still on top, baby.
Rob is leading.
All right, this one's worth double points, so I'm going to come back now.
No, this means you're going to get buried even harder.
It
Natural
is
competitor here.
It is not worth double points, but we're going to go through this one semi-quickly.
Look, John, I don't mean to intimidate you before we go in the final round, but you're talking to a former state of Florida men's volleyball champion right now. So buckle up, buddy. I'm about to take you into the deep water.
Damn.
Oh, it's such an amazing mental image. Thank you. All right, our next game is called Who Said and or Posted It. You're just going to tell me this is all
Ayatollah Khomeini. Next
This is all from 2018, other than one, which I will tell you is not from 2018.
Mahmoud.
And you're just going to tell me who this was.
Mahmoud.
All right, John, I'm going to start with you. This one, okay. Quote, I will say that if there ever was a moment to think not of your party, but of your country, this is it. This is not a moment for spin, deflection, justification, circling the wagons, forgetting, moving along to the next news cycle, or for more of Orwell's doublespeak. We in the Senate, who have been elected to represent our constituents, cannot be enablers of falsehoods.
Oh, jeez. I mean, it's we in the Senate, so it has to be a senator.
There you go.
That was a lot of nothing.
Yeah.
So I'll go with Chuck Schumer.
Jeff Flake.
Yeah, it was Jeff Flake.
Fuck.
Boom.
I'll give you another one
So
for extra
feckless.
points, Sean.
Even Chuck Schumer can't be that feckless.
Yep.
Yeah, you're fair.
Which thing was he talking about? Which Trump thing was he talking about?
Which Trump thing was that one talking about?
What event was this?
I don't think that was Kavanaugh.
Nope.
So
Before that.
Oh, before Kavanaugh. So that's got to be. It could be anything. Like,
All right.
fuck, that's a
Hate
universal
to call the
statement.
clock on this guy, but he's really
Yep.
fumbled the football.
We're calling
I've
the clock.
fumbled. I've whiffed.
This is-
Ear mailed.
This is from when Trump met Putin in Finland. You remember that? That happened in 2018.
No.
Yeah, it was a big thing. He met Putin. Putin made him look like a fucking idiot. Everyone freaked out for like 3 days. Even the Republicans pretended like they cared, and then it died. It died so quickly, you have no memory of it.
Yeah. Okay.
It
Cool.
was treason of the highest order that changed the way a nation viewed its chief executive. And then there was a new Handmaiden's Tale, so we all fucked off to that.
Jeff Flake, by the way, net worth is just under 500K, which is pretty rare. Almost everybody else in the Senate is worth more than $1 million.
Yeah, but can you really put a price on that big ass dick?
I was going to say, part of the reason his net worth is low is because he's sitting on a cool $750,000 in mortgages. So you know he's going straight to lobbying the minute he's done.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty, next one. This one's for you, Rob. This one's an easy one. Suddenly,
Oh sure.
I thought the last one was an easy one.
I know this
personally.
one's easy. John, I'll give you an easy one too. Hold tight. Quote: Suddenly, America is the largest oil producer. That was me. People say thank you.
Oh
Fuck, I
God.
know this one.
Is that not literally Donald Trump?
Nope.
I got it.
John.
It's Obama. It's fucking Obama.
There you go.
Damn, I feel like we've shown a mirror to society in that moment. Yeah, just honestly, there's nothing to say there. I think me fucking it up by thinking it's Trump and him being Obama is like
Obama, by the way, estimated net worth of $40 million now, mostly from everything that's happened post presidency. Awesome.
he's pure class, baby. We need him back.
I like how like the day after the election he was pretty much already in Billionaire Island with like Richard Branson.
Oh
Yeah. Well, if you read his memoir, he actually says in one of the later chapters that one of his great regrets is that he had to lead the executive branch during all the best times of the Lolita Express. And so, now he's free, he can capitalize.
That's true.
He has really laid out a pathway for charismatic young people to get into the presidency. People will love you even if you're utterly mediocre. And when you leave, you can be wildly wealthy.
I wish Obama was running in the current climate so we could see him do Instant Pot with that dog he's always eating.
Oh my God, that'd be
Remember
amazing.
that conservative meme?
Yes.
Jesus.
All right, Rob, this one's for you.
No, it's for me. It's my turn.
Oh, sorry, you're right. John, this one's for you. This one is, well, you'll see when this one was from. Quote, I was certainly undecided, and after hearing Christine Ford's very compelling and painful testimony, I thought, oh my goodness, he perhaps needs to withdraw. But then when he came back with such a forceful denial and the anger and anguish that he showed, and then the lack of corroboration led me back to the fundamental issues that are fundamental to our legal system of presumption of innocence and fairness.
Oh, motherfucker. Damn. I know.
Does it start with an M? Can I get that hint? Does the name start with an M?
Yeah, I'm just gonna pass because I'm just
okay. So I'll give you this one then. It's a Republican.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew it was one of the.
It is a Republican woman.
It's not the one from fucking Maine, is it?
What would her name be, John?
Oh, I don't know.
I will give you half a point for the person from Maine.
I'm not good with names.
It is Suzanne Collins.
Yes, thank you. God.
She's worth about $2 to $3 million.
That
just
seems shockingly low, even for Maine.
Well, it does. It's interesting to track because all these come from the federal disclosures, and some of them do tricky shit with it. But yeah. $2 to $4 million. All right, Rob. This one's. I didn't intend to give you the slam dunk ones.
Cory Booker.
I couldn't find a quote of his even worth putting in a quiz show.
But Jeff Flake. There you go. I mean,
yeah, no, he says the same thing every time.
Easy. Yeah, he only really says one thing every day, and it's just do we decide to pay attention.
I think that's my problem. Is whenever someone starts talking from that sect, I just literally tune it out immediately. It's white noise.
I mean, it's probably smart. It's wise. It just means you're less good at this. All right, Rob. This one is sort of two quotes. The person is talking right after an election, and they say, "You don't understand what it means to be a progressive," and then go on to say,
Nancy Pelosi.
On the numbers, not on some Twittersphere dialogue.
Nancy Pelosi. No,
incorrect. That is Cuomo right after beating Cynthia Nixon.
I was thinking, Joe Crowley
That's not
popped
fair.
into my head immediately. But
I thought we were.
Cuomo.
I thought they had to be figures of like national political prominence. That's why that fucked me up. Okay, so that's a bit of a rules snafu. So we'll go ahead and I'm sure we can retake that one, or just give me the point. It's fine.
He is worth about $6.5 million, by the way.
Oh, that's a lie.
Yeah, on paper. That guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, again, to be clear, these are almost all very conservative. You can just go ahead and put the numbers up a lot higher. Although some of them, they're low just because they're sitting on massive mortgages, which is Jeff Flake, the man sitting on like $1 million house.
If anything, that's indicative of the actual wealth they have hidden away. Because I'm more inclined to believe they actually can afford that because they're in positions of immense power and probably have the wealth to back it up, rather than all of them are in suspiciously over-leveraged mortgages. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, it's actually, when you get wealthy enough, debt is no longer a bad thing. It's an opportunity cost. Is the percentage that I'm paying on the debt higher or lower than my opportunities to invest elsewhere? And if you're wealthy, your opportunities to invest are way better than any regular person's.
Yeah, so it's debt that doesn't reflect any real threat, is my point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Doesn't exert any real pressure.
Exactly. And a lot of them will also store their wealth with their spouse. It's a super common tactic. Like one Kirsten Gillibrand, whose husband is a literal venture capitalist, and she claims to make about $500K, or claims to be worth about $500K. Yeah, that's not true.
Yeah, I actually don't care how much she makes, because you hire her like you hire the wolf from Pulp Fiction, which is just to like be a dead-eyed psychopath that kills your enemies. I'm keeping my eye on her.
We all should. All right, John, this one's a little bit easier. Quote, I think Europe needs to get a handle on migration because that is what lit the flame.
Oh, come on.
Oh, is this a media hack or is this
Oh my god.
Who?
Oh,
Who?
wait, this was Hillary.
There you go. There you go.
I was going to say, this was
Jesus.
on our podcast.
Yeah, fuck me. Yeah, no, it was like I could. Well, I mean, the thing is, like, that's
I knew
like,
you had it. It just needed a minute.
Yeah. That's like every single like right wing shithead on Twitter. So it was like, oh, is this Candace Owens? Like, but no. Hillary Clinton.
at least some measurable political importance. They're worth like $250 million, by the way, and that's very vague because
Clintons?
nobody's been able to get into their
Yeah.
finances
Well, I mean,
for a while.
Well, it's like that's the fucking Clinton Foundation. Like, fuck.
I'm just surprised that even without Galaxy Brain Robbie Mook around making $10 million a year to do analytics for her, that she's still able to come up with such genius progressive strategy as if you give the Nazis what they won't want anything anymore. Ergo, you win. That's the sort of Sun Tzu art of war shit that's why she's still my president.
Like that was probably let me just say that was probably my favorite part of the 2018 election, where all the shithead centrist Democrats like Heidecamp, who were like, maybe we should look at if you can end birthright citizenship, and then they just all fucking lost. That was a good moment last year.
Alrighty. This one's gonna be a super easy slam dunk, but I'm very entertained by it, so we're gonna do it anyway. Quote, I'm a little confused why she's the thing, but it's a good example of what I'm talking about.
Boom.
There you go. A bright, shiny new object came out of nowhere and surprised people. Fuck you, Claire McCaskill.
The woman who said, Chuck Schumer's great because as a leader, he doesn't make you vote for things that the party believes in. She said that as a celebration of his leadership.
Well, she was one of the ones that wanted to end birthright citizenship, so, hey, fuck her.
She's worth about $27 million, by the way, so she's doing just fine.
It's great when she's like, oh, yes, well, we'd all win if we gave people progressive policies that they could believe in, but that's not what this is about, is it? So, fuck you, AOC.
In that same interview, she said, we only accomplish things. The tough stuff only gets fixed if we take tough votes and we compromise. Fuck off.
That's why we've compromised our way into a very united and powerful nation where there's not a reality show guy currently calling Anna Wintour 8 times a night to remind her that he's president.
All right, John, last one's for you. This one is not 2018, but it's relevant for something that just happened in the last week. Quote, Donald Trump is a fraud. His promises are as worthless as a degree from Trump University. I will give you a hint. It is a Republican.
Oh, well, that takes out my quote of literally any person on earth.
Republican in the Senate now.
Oh, is it Mitt Romney?
Yes, it is. That's all Mitt Romney during the election.
Yep.
Don't worry, he's
going right back into his role as the king of the never Trump guys, the adult in the room.
Who's also going to vote for the wall? Because come on.
Oh yeah, I mean he ran on anti-immigration shit like that. The Mormons eat that shit up. He is blitheringly racist, but hey, you know what? He keeps the hood on.
Mitt Romney also worth about $250 million. I'm positive he's hiding a lot of money, so he's probably higher than that.
Yeah, you ever notice that ever since 2012, ever since that election, they kind of stopped mentioning Bain Capital as this terrible evil thing? Weird, huh?
They should. Bain Capital is the reason Toys R Us went under.
That's just never mentioned anymore. Just how.
Yeah, I know. Well, he also ran in Utah, so no one gave a fuck.
I'm glad Toys R Us went under because that one time I asked them if they had an extra Star Wars limited edition Bosk figurine, and they said they would check in the back. I think they were just smoking weed. So who has the last laugh now? Me, with all my Bosk figurines.
Whereas I love Toys R Us because one time I went there and there was a copy of Final Fantasy III and I did not have the money that week, but I was able to take a little slip of paper and hide it. And then the next week I was able to go find that slip of paper and boom.
That's actually
into
genius.
A land of fantasy.
All right, right now Rob is leading by a half point.
Oh, we need a tiebreaker.
Well, no, you don't. I'm just winning. You'd have to have a tie for a tiebreaker.
We're going to do a quick lightning round. You're going to see as many as I have 4 questions for each of you. You have about a minute to get through them. We'll see who has the most at the end of that, okay?
All right.
Rob, we're going to start with you.
Wait, why don't you just put all 8 to both of us and have us compete?
All right, we can do that. Question numero uno. Who did Jeff Flake have a bipartisan snowball fight
Cory
with
Booker.
last winter?
Got it.
Damn, I didn't think anybody was going to get that. All right. That's
Fuck.
Point
Yeah,
to Rob.
I didn't actually
Fuck,
see
mister.
it, but I felt the shockwave for how awkward that fucking was all the way in New York.
Apparently, you're just following all the latest and greatest Jeff Flake news and updates.
Aren't we all?
Look,
Well, that's
him
probably
and
actually just
Cory
CNN.
Booker meeting, I had to watch just to see if they would merge into a single entity like Goku and Vegeta fighting Trunks.
Oh boy.
Power of bipartisan rhetoric, and apps for some reason combined.
I'm picturing them doing the fusion dance. That's no. Let's continue on. Let's move on, please.
Children hate me.
Oh, I have a picture of them doing the fusion dance now too, and it's amazing.
It's good.
All right, second question. It's an easy one. Who did AOC beat in her primary?
Oh, Joe Crowley.
There we go, John. All right, third question. What is Ted Cruz's wife's first name?
Elizabeth. Oh, fuck Heidi. Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
That. We did a whole episode.
I'll be honest, I didn't listen to most of that.
It was like 6 hours long.
It's unbelievable that a 10-hour miniseries about Heidi Cruz wasn't more wildly popular. I'm just imagining a Ken Burns style documentary where it's panning over like a sepia toned photo of Heidi Cruz at age 16, and it's like, that was the night she discovered Bacardi Breezers. This would come to play later in life. And then a fiddle starts.
Oof.
All right, question number 4. This one's a little bit longer and complicated, so give me a second to get through it.
No.
This year, we finally had a mass shooting in which numerous survivors of a previous mass shooting were involved.
Vegas, baby.
That was in thousand. God, fuck.
Swingers.
Fuck you, Rob.
Vince Vaughn, John Favreau.
Multiple people lived through both.
Your money, baby. Your money.
This was Thousand Oaks. And then, of course, unfortunately, multiple people did not live through both. They got through Vegas and they got shot in Thousand Oaks. But yes,
Yep.
Vegas was the one that they originally lived through. Correct. That one goes to Rob. All right. Who got appointed to McCain's seat after losing the Senate race to Sinema this fall?
I'm not super into politics. I don't follow it. I don't really care about the comings and goings of the various figures of prominence. I tune it out most of the time, so I don't have an answer to this one.
Point to Brett. This was Martha McSally. Martha McSally.
Right.
I lived in her district, so I know her very well.
I couldn't have picked either of them out of a lineup, so.
The Martha McSally thing is relevant or just an interesting thing to know because that is how people get into positions of power. They often don't win a democratic election. They get placed there, and then they have the incumbent advantage.
Yep.
From there on out. And that is what the Republicans are actively doing with McSally. She couldn't win a fresh race with Sinema where they were both new to the Senate, but maybe she can beat the next person that she runs against from the Democrats after she spent 2 years in the Senate. Certainly possible. All right, next question. What politician used to moderate a racist Facebook group?
All of them?
Correct, but there's one specifically that this came out and was part of the election discussion this year.
Rick DeSantis.
Just go with the last name. The
Rick.
First name first.
I don't know. It's the Florida governor.
DeSantis.
There we go.
DeSantis.
I just said DeSantis.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to Rob for DeSantis. It's not Rick.
Well, in a way, it is. In a way that every guy who's racist is a little bit of a Rick. Some of us, are Samanthas, but other people are Ricks.
All right, next one.
Ron DeSantis. Yeah.
There you go.
I was going to say, could you just imagine literally any candidate's like Facebook group, just like what some of the shit getting posted to that is?
Yeah. But again, he moderated the group. It came out. It was clear to everyone what was happening, and he still won because Florida. 2 more left.
Uh-oh.
John, I think you need both of these.
All right.
What company was cited by the UN as helping fuel the genocide of Rohingya Muslims in Myanmar? Tech company.
Well,
Damn, you know what? You hit me on my 2 real blank spots: Muslims and Myanmar. As a true American, I don't know anything about either of those, and my brain turns off.
The audio slightly
super
cut
micro.
No,
This wasn't Facebook, was it?
Apple.
it was Facebook. John.
Okay. Yeah, I remember this because it was like they were promoting stories or like and suppressing shit for one of the sides. Like they were being paid to do that.
Is this the Rohingya thing?
Yes, I said Rohingya.
Oh, sorry.
It cut out.
Yeah.
I missed it. Yeah.
Yeah, it cut out.
Fuck both of you.
No, seriously.
No, it really did, yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll take that as an excuse.
But I mean, besides, I got it right anyway.
We both
so-
get the point for that then, huh?
Which means John's already lost.
All right, we just got to move forward, unfortunately.
Damn it.
All right, here. The last one is give me 2 of the 3 red state Democrats who lost in 2018. Senators.
God, McCaskill's won, right?
And Haida Camp.
Yeah.
All right.
Split the point.
And we split it, which means I still
And
win.
Rob wins. Yep.
Damn it. Damn it.
Well, guys, I'd like to thank everyone that inexplicably contributed to me knowing any of these things.
The questions were gerrymandered.
Luckily, Rob won by enough that the rules lawyering did not affect anything.
Wow, that gives meaning to an otherwise meaningless result, which is something we all seek and crave. So see you in 2019.
I did better than any Texas Democrat.
All right, everyone.
Yeah, but what's your Cav game like?
Listen, he's working out his calves hard while he watches anime at the gym. He's getting there.
That's actually true.
I know. That is a factual statement about John. All right, everybody. Welcome to 2019.
It'll be hard for it to be a worse year. This will probably be a better year, folks.
Fucking doubt it.
Think positive.
If nothing else in 2019, we will be here to commiserate with you. Congrats to Rob on his glorious win. And enjoy Rob doing the scat version of the Soviet anthem as our outro this week.
Bop dop scoop up bop Marxism Leninism Trotsky bop shawoo.